Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. From the Samvidhan to the Sansad to Sanatan, origins of India and what is intrinsic to Bharat has today set the narrative ahead of the 2024 elections. As India soars up to the sky, can we leave behind our roots in Bharat? As we prepare for a new Sansad, a new seat for our temple of democracy, can we malign and denigrate our way of life in Sanatan? Today's political discourse has boiled down to who will safeguard the idea of India, its origins, its traditions and its culture. Well, remember, Naya Bharat is all set to have its first special session in the Naya Sansad on the 19th of September, but this comes amidst a massive India or Bharat controversy raging in the background. The BJP says it's time that India reclaims its names and its civilizational existence, Bharat, and sheds the colonial baggage. But the opposition bloc under the aegis of INDIA alliance quip, what if they change their own name, India, to Bharat? In fact, they accuse the BJP of diverting from the real issues of price rise, MSP and Manipur that are the core agenda that should be brought up in the parliament. But the government is undeterred and the BJP proclaims that even the constitution clearly says India, that is Bharat. They now ask what's wrong if it's backed by the Samvidhan as well. Listen in to the political face-off.
India, that is Bharat. It is there in the constitution. Please, I would invite everybody to read it. I think when you say Bharat, in a sense, a meaning and a understanding and a connotation that comes with it, and that is reflected in our constitution as well.
इंडिया को देखते ही वो घबरा रहे, अरे अब इंडिया छोड़ दो, भारत नाम रोको, तो भारत नाम रखने के लिए आ रहे हैं। संविधान में है, इंडिया मीन्स भारत, ये दोनों शब्द है। भाई आपको क्या ऐतराज? हम भारत जोड़ो पहले ही बोल रहे हैं, लेकिन आप कुछ ना कुछ नया लाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं।
संविधान में भारत का नाम व्याख्यादित है और हम जो संविधान बनाने वाले हमारे संविधान निर्माता बाबा भीमराव अंबेडकर जी, उन्होंने संविधान में जो कुछ कहा है हम उसको अंगीकार करते हैं, हम उसको मानने वाले लोग हैं।
अगर आप हटाओगे तो कहां से हटाओगे? क्या स्टेट बैंक ऑफ इंडिया का नाम बदलेगा? इसरो, जिन्होंने अभी चंद्रयान का कामयाब मिशन पूरा किया, क्या उसका नाम बदलोगे? IIT, IIM, कितने ऐसे इदारे हैं जिनका आपको नाम बदलना होगा? अगर सिर्फ गर्ज ये है कि ऑपोजिशन की पार्टियों ने अपना नाम इंडिया रखा है, तो फिर हम अपना ही नाम बदल देंगे। हम मुल्क को मुसीबत में नहीं डालना चाहते।
But the roots of our nation and our civilization also live in our Sanatan way of life. This, however, has been flayed over the last 4 days by leaders of the India bloc. For the first time today, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has weighed in. As per sources, in a meeting with his Council of Ministers, the Prime Minister sent a clear message to his own ministers to take on vilifiers of Sanatan and put the facts on the table. Counter this criticism with facts. This, remember, after Congress's Karnataka Mantri questioned the genesis of Hinduism itself. Listen in to how he gets fact-checked by the BJP.
Hindu Dharma, ಯಾವಾಗ ಹುಟ್ಟಿತು, ಯಾರು ಹುಟ್ಟಿಸಿದ್ರು ಹಿಂದೂ ಧರ್ಮ, ಇನ್ನೂ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆ ಬಿದ್ದಿದೆ, ತೆಗೆದಿಲ್ಲ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಮಾರ್ಕ್. ಬೌದ್ಧ ಧರ್ಮ ಈ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟುತ್ತೆ, ಜೈನ ಧರ್ಮ ಈ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಹುಟ್ಟುತ್ತೆ, ಹೊರಗಡೆಯಿಂದ ಇಸ್ಲಾಂ ಧರ್ಮ ಬಂದಿದೆ, ಕ್ರೈಸ್ತ ಧರ್ಮ ಬಂದಿದೆ. ಈ ಎಲ್ಲದರ ವಿಶ್ಲೇಷಣೆ ಮತ್ತು ಸಾರಾಂಶ ಮನುಕುಲಕ್ಕೆ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಾಗಬೇಕು.
Something not found by somebody or something. It is a way of life. I think Dr. Parmeshwara should read all these our Vedas and our Upanishads Then you'll be able to know when Hindus were started and how it was started.
And if it's not enough, fight over India, Bharat, Sanatan Dharma versus other religions. Now, in a double-pronged attack, the opposition has also targeted the government over the special session of parliament. In fact, Congress's top leader Sonia Gandhi is fuming that they have not been consulted about the special session. Sonia Gandhi also shot off a letter to Prime Minister Modi seeking a debate on Manipur, price rise, minimum support price, unemployment and the Adani issue. Listen in to what the Congress said to the Prime Minister.
हम ये सदर का बहिष्कार नहीं करेंगे। ये मौका है हमारे लिए जनता के मुद्दों को उठाने के लिए और हम पूरा प्रयास करेंगे कि अलग-अलग पार्टियां अपने मुद्दे उठाएंगे।
The Congress party, which calls itself as the grand old party of the country and which has ruled the country for more than 16 years, more than 60 years, they should not try to politicize this issue. Nowhere in the past, whenever the session was called, never it was consulted before the calling the session. And Article 85 provides this specific provision to the government power, provide this power to the government. So I would like to question, before to this also, when your government was there, when Congress government was there, when other various governments were there, never agenda was disclosed.
Even as the political facts and face-off continues, let's look at the facts. Is the government duty bound to consult with the opposition before calling a parliament session, a special session of the parliament? Article 85 of the Constitution vests this power in the government. Meanwhile, Rule 3 of the Rules of Procedure and Conduct of Business in the Lok Sabha says the Secretary General shall issue summons specifying date for a session if a session is called at short notice or emergently. Summons may not be issued to each member separately, but an announcement shall be made in a gazette, press or via telegrams to members. Nowhere does it say that the opposition needs to be consulted first. In fact, several times in the past, the Congress quoted this rule and called for such special sessions. Let's remind you, 14th of August, 1947, special session on the eve of independence. It called another session in 1962 to discuss the Indo-China War. Similar special sessions were called to mark the Independence Day, Quit India anniversaries and by the government, and even the NDA had called for special sessions to mark the Ambedkar Jayanti, the Constitution Day, as well as a special session for the GST Act to be passed by Parliament. So the legitimate question that arises in the midst of this political face-off, just who will safeguard the interests of Bharat and the Janata of Bharat? That's the question, and that's the debate coming up on the other side.
You're watching the News Hour at 9, debate number 1 on Times Now, Super Prime Time.
Joining the debate tonight, Gaurav Bhatia, national spokesperson of the BJP, Smita Prakash, editor ANI. We also have A. Sarvanan, national spokesperson of the DMK, Lokesh Jindal, leader of the Congress party, Ravula Sridhar Reddy, spokesperson of the BRS. But my first question goes to Bishwajit Deb, national spokesperson and senior advocate of the Trinamool Congress. And Bishwajit Deb, I want to ask you, your problem is with India, or your problem is with Bharat? Your problem is with one nation, one poll, or your problem is with the special session of Parliament? What is the problem? Because every time the Prime Minister decides to do something, you have in the opposition a problem. So is your problem Narendra Modi and these are the manifestations of the problem? Or do you have a specific issue objecting to this special session of Parliament?
Well, there are many issues, but I would of course first of all like to say that this government is basically a naam badlao government. Basically a naam badlao government. Now you see, what's the difference? whether it is India or whether it is Bharat, there's nothing new in this. Because our constitution already says in Article 1 that India will be also named Bharat, which comprises of Union of States. So there is nothing new in this. Now what they are trying to do is, they are trying to divert the attention of the people from the skyrocketing price rise, from the inflation, from unemployment, from border disputes, from communal tensions, which they are unable to solve, which Mr. Modi had been unable to solve since the last 9.5 years. And that is why they are trying to divert the attention of the people by just changing name. You will see that in 2016 and 2020, there were 2 PILs in the Supreme Court to change the name of India. But both those 2 PILs were dismissed by the Honorable Supreme Court. Now you see, every time, whenever you go, you will see that they are trying to change name and divert the attention of the people. Whenever they are in crisis, they are trying to do something to divert the attention of the people. Now you see, regarding the special session, which you have just now mentioned, where was the special session at the time when the COVID was there in India? Where was the special session at the time when Manipur was burning? Where was the special session of the parliament when there was demonetization in the parliament? Where was the special session when the migrant workers were traveling for hundreds of miles on their feet? There was no special session. But now there is a need for special session. And what is the agenda? The agenda is completely blank. We do not know what is the agenda. And the opposition had not been consulted. The Business Advisory Committee has not been consulted. And they are citing Article 85 for that. What do we expect from the government? That the opposition should be consulted.
Vishwajit, since you're answering so many questions on name change, I want to ask you, what should we call it? Sanatan Dharma, or should we call it malaria and dengue? What should we call it? Is it the same?
You see, Sanatan Dharma. Sanatan Dharma is respected by All India Trinamool Congress. And that is what our leader, Mamata Banerjee, has specifically said yesterday. We respect each and every religion. All religions are equal to us.
So
we do not
do you think
in divisive politics.
Do you think people in the Congress, people in the DMK, do you think people in the Congress, people in the DMK who say different things about the Sanatan Dharma and virtually say things that may not be acceptable to people who practice this religion, do you think you should be condemning them? After all, they are your alliance partners.
You see, first of all, we have very categorically said that we should refrain from making such statements, and we should respect each and every religion. We are all secular parties. We believe in secularism.
Okay.
We are not BJP, where BJP believes in divisive politics and BJP believes in division between people of the country.
All right, you condemn them, but you will stay with them because these are minor hiccups in the road to power. But Mr. Gaurav Bhatia, respond to all the questions raised by the senior Trinamool Congress spokesperson, because he says you have no habit of consultation. You just try to impose things on the opposition and you have no space for dialogue.
So let me first remind the TMC spokesperson, for them secularism is when Mamata Banerjee Navika said to a person who chanted slogan of Jai Shri Ram, she got out of the car. She was fuming, angry, and she said, Teri chamdi udhed dungi. Teri chamdi udhed dungi agar Jai Shri Ram bola. And for the Muslims, she said, मुस्लिम्स दूध देने वाली गाय हैं, इनकी तो दुलत्ती भी खा लूंगी मैं. Such is the secularism of Mamata Banerjee. But the larger question is, they say that Udhayanidhi has used wrong language. He's hurt the sentiments of the Hindu community. I ask, will the Congress party and TMC and Samajwadi party and AAP have the courage to sever their ties with the DMK, kick him out, kick his party out, of the Gamandia group? No, they will not. Because after the Mumbai meeting, Navika, this is what they discussed. How to spew venom against the Hindu community. How to, in the name of secularism, divide India and apply the Cambridge Analytica model. And I am asking to myself, Navika, 2 days have passed. Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, the Chunavi Hindu, the Janayu Daru Hindu, somebody who wears the Janayu above the Band Gala, the Khadge ji, has he even uttered one word? Has he condemned the statement made by Udhayanidhi Stalin? The answer is a categorical no. Now contrast this. If somebody quotes from the Hadiths and it is noted in the Hadith, these people come out and there are fanatics in the country. In the name of religion, they say, Gustake Rasool ki ek hi saza, sar tan se juda, sar tan se juda. The question is, why does the Gamandia group, especially the Congress, the Samajwadi Party, AAP and TMC, hate the Sanatan Dharma? Can they even dare to utter the same words?
Valid question. Valid question. Let's ask Lokesh Jindal that. Lokesh Jindal, tolerance is a two-way street. Why should any side try to, provoke the other side or say hurtful things about the other side is a basic question that the opposition has raised all this time. And this time around, the shoe is on the other foot. Your ministers, when they stand up and say, whether it's Priyank Khadge or whether it is G. Parmeshwara, they even start questioning, we don't know what is the beginning of the Hindu Dharma. We know other, what are you trying to say? The question is, sentiments exist on every side. Sentiments must be kept in mind when statements are made. And having said that, I want to say that you think about every question that is being raised by Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, and she is well within her rights to raise issues. But the fact of the matter is, when has there been any such existence of any previous occasion when special sessions of the parliament have been called only after consultation with the opposition? The consultation happens on the agenda a day or two before the parliament session when the speaker holds it, the chairman of the Rajya Sabha holds it, and the business advisory committee meets. So when the BJP does something, you have a problem with everything that they suggest. Modi hatred has made you question everything in this country, even the name of your country. Where is it going to end? Where is it going to stop, Lokesh Jindal?
Navika ji, with respect to the name of the country, India was not given to us by the British. Even before the British came to India, they established a company called East India Company. That company was named after India. It was not that they came to India and then they named the country. Let's go more to past. We see the Greco-Roman accounts. We see Megasthenes, writing Megasthenes Indica. So the name India, the river Indus, the civilization of river Indus, all this existed during the ancient, since the ancient times as well. So this is some form of anomaly. I think the ruling party must read history before making comments that only Bharat represents the civilized cultural heritage, not India. I mean, that's a fallacy, and that is why we are questioning it. When the ruling party comes up and says, no, it's only Bharat that is correct, not India. So that is something that they need to correct. Secondly, with respect to the remarks stated by Mr. Stalin, our General Secretary, Mr. K.C. Venugopal, he has clearly stated that the ideology of the Congress is in Sarva Dharma Sambhava.
Will you see what
we do not support any
is the
such
question
statement.
that has been asked?
Sir, please let me complete.
So will you sever your ties with the DMK?
Sir, please let me complete.
I'm asking you a
please let me
question and you
complete.
may complete after that.
Sir, have patience. Mr. Venugopal has clearly stated that there must be equal respect to all religion. We do not support any such statement. And in Congress, we condemn dragging religion into politics, something which BJP has started, which BJP is responsible. over here also, I hold BJP responsible for time and again mixing politics and religion. And look at the dual...
The BJP asked Mr. Priyank Kharge to make the statement that he did. Did the BJP ask Mr. G. Balachandar to say, make the statement that... Did you, Gaurav Bhatia, did your party tell them what to say and what not to say?
No, I have a very, pointed example in my hand. Navika, please see. Mallikarjun Kharge making this statement which I am reading out for the viewers. He said, Modi को शक्ति मिली तो देश में सनातन धर्म का राज हो जाएगा. Who's injecting religion into politics now? Mr. Kharge is the president of the Congress party. The BJP cannot force him to make such statements. Why such hatred for the Sanatan Dharma? And I must tell him, he was talking about history. Read the Constituent Assembly debates on Bharat and India. Why do you say that India is something that we detest? We love India. But Bharat is about our roots. And Kamlapati Tripathi, who was a senior Congress leader, Navika, had this to say. He said, sir, I am enamored of the historic name of Bharat. And then he goes on to say this about Bharat. I am reading for my friend Lokesh. He said, when we pronounce this word, we are reminded of those words of Lord Krishna, through which he taught a practical philosophy to the people of this country. The philosophy which can enable humanity even too late to achieve its goal of peace and bliss. Now, this is what Kamlapati Tripathi, a Congress leader, had to say about Bharat. Why do you hate the word Bharat is the point?
Sir, we do
why
not
do you hate the word
Bharat.
Sanatan?
That is why we
why
have
do
it
you hate the word Hindutva? Are you so full of hatred?
Why do
you have
you
nothing
read
better?
Article 1 of the
No
Constitution?
nectar.
But then why is this? Why is
Article
there
1 of the
much ado
Constitution, let me
about
tell him.
India and Bharat?
let
India
me
is
tell.
the English. When you take oath in Parliament in any Indian language, you use
Hindi.
Bharat.
What does it say?
No, every Indian language says Bharat. And Smita Prakash, that's the question I want to ask you. You know, are these demands being made by the opposition because somehow or the other they have to just oppose whatever is done by the Modi Sarkar? So they have a problem with one nation, one poll. First meeting held today already. So is there a bit of a flutter there because of this? Are they not prepared? Their seat sharing is not in place. And in Punjab, Bhagwant Mann has even tweeted and said, we are the newest and the youngest party, but we can fight all the 13 seats in Punjab. No help needed from the Congress party. Thank you very much. So Smita, is this what is rattling them? Number two, is it rattling them that the G20 or the ISRO, achievements will also go into the BJP's account? Is it rattling them that, UCC will come, this, that or the other? And now they have a problem. Why not consulting with us before you call for a parliament session? Smita, how does everything become a taboo topic? Everything become a problem for the opposition?
Well, it's election season already. I think we are 6 to 8 months before an election. So everything will become a part of the news cycle. On the Bharat India thing, I think in number of debates you've done, it's not a change of name. It exists. Everybody knows that. Historically, you've just had the speakers who talked about it, that the term India and Bharat both exist not only in the constitution, but in all our subconsciousness as Indians, whether those are interchangeable or not. Now, whether, the thing is that the debate on this becomes very complex because there are dynamics of history, there's dynamics of culture, politics of the subcontinent, our freedom struggle, so many things that come into mind. So, but who are the ones who are objecting strongly today? They are the ones who never raised an objection when Kashi became Banaras, Banaras became Varanasi. Nobody raised an objection when Calcutta became Kolkata. They don't raise the objection. They didn't raise the objection in all those times. So suddenly I'm finding so much of hyperventilation which is happening. Already it's come clear that there is no change which is happening. They're interchangeable, the names. So somewhere you will have a Bharat Jodo Yatra and you will have Indian Institute of Technology. So those will coexist. I don't think there's going to be any massive name change or anything like that. The second question is about, which you were talking about the Sanatana Dharma thing. Now the allegation many people are saying for the past 48 hours, I think, is that the BJP is picking up cudgels against Udhayanidhi because of the elections, or they're trying to divert attention because of various things. Some are saying because of financial stuff or whatever, or G20, Xi Jinping and Putin not coming, whatever the reasons they could be saying. But the thing is that Udhayanidhi is what he said is not something new. The DMK has always held this view against Sanatana Dharma. Now, DMK's precursor, the DK or the Justice Party, they were completely against Sanatana Dharma, rightly or wrongly. But it's the words that Udhayanidhi used, which was comparing it with mosquitoes and dengue. And that is what, if you have not lived in Tamil Nadu, that is something which will come as a shocker to you. The fact is that this kind of language, or putting chappals over Lord Rama's and Lord Sita's, Lord Rama or Lord Krishna's idols, these are all things which Tamilians have seen it in Tamil Nadu. It's only now that it is coming into the forefront. Now, the allegation that why is Modi bringing it to the forefront? Modi didn't say it. It was Udhayanidhi who said it. Politically, we were to see why is the BJP picking it up. How come? It's probably because the BJP is focusing a little more on Tamil Nadu, whether it was Mr. Modi looking at the Kashi Tamil Sangamam in Varanasi or else the Sengol. There are some ripples which are happening in Tamil Nadu. Now, from 67 onwards, Dravidian politics has completely overshadowed all national parties in Tamil Nadu. Somewhere national parties completely left the sway and said it's AIDMK or DMK. But there are some ripples which are happening now where BJP is causing. Electorally, what Udhayanidhi said is not going to make any difference to their numbers. They are still going to get it because Tamilians in Tamil Nadu have been accepting this line which Udhayanidhi said, or Stalin said, or Karunanidhi before him said. So that's not going to happen. It's somewhat like, what the Khaps in Haryana said, The Khaps used to say that, Abhi kyun aa rahe ho? Why are you talking to us about it? Khaps have been deciding this thing, whether women should have cell phones or not, whether intermarriage should be allowed or not. So don't tell us now. But things change, right? Political parties told the Khaps that you cannot do this anymore. Things will change. So I think somewhere the Dravidian parties have to realize that national parties are going to come in edgeways and create political space for themselves.
Is it all about politics? Is the parliament session about politics? Are the statements of leaders about politics? Is ISRO about politics? Is India and Bharat also only about politics, Mr. Saravanan?
Yeah. Navika ji, you were saying Madam Sonia Gandhi was fuming. I think if you look at this picture, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Disgusting is not the word. Are you not going to fume for this? You know who did this? Who has done this? This is a picture, a morphed picture of Madam Sonia Gandhi.
Bad
Who
taste?
did this?
I have
BJP
no problem
for
in
India.
saying it's in bad
Why?
taste.
They are rattled. Are you not going to outrage? There are two women. No. There are two women here in the panel. This is a disgusting image. I do not want to show it on television. But there's no other way I could show how disgusting the BJP is. Is this a party which can speak about Sanatana Dharma? Speak about eternal values? This is a tweet made by BJP for India 1 hour back.
So why don't you
portraying Madam Sonia Gandhi in such a disgusting way?
From you,
are you not going to outrage against this?
Right or wrong?
Navika ji,
subscribe to it or not?
Outrage.
You answer that.
I want this BJP spokesperson to seek an apology.
I'm asking you.
Seek an apology.
Mr. Saravanan,
seek an apology for denigrating women like this. What moral right you got to speak about Sanatana Dharma?
Please
what
be
right
quiet.
you got BJP got to speak about Sanatana Dharma?
The people of India want to know.
What
do you
right?
stand
what
by
business?
the statement made by Udhayanidhi, or do you condemn it? We just want to know your view first. How can we debate without knowing your view?
Bharat,
Look at him.
women
He
cannot
has
be
Udhayanidhi
denigrated.
behind him.
The BJP
Even
should take
Udhayanidhi is
responsibility.
smiling at
Whoever
your
is
stupidity.
responsible should
You can't
just
even
be
take a
arrested
stand.
and booked.
You know, can you say
Stop
the
it.
same for Islam?
You are doing stupid things.
Okay,
Can
say the
anyone
same
do
for
this?
Islam.
Will any
Mr.
state man do
Sarvanan,
this?
Malaria and
Mr.
dengue.
Sarvanan, let's not forget our courtesies. I know there are very little courtesies left in the political world, but on national television, I would urge you to stick to them. People of India still expect some decorum.
Navika, I have a question for him.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, Navika, the question is this. What is his stand? Yes, I just want to first ask him, what is his stand? Do they stand by the statement made by Udhayanidhi, or do they say that they will condemn it? I just want to know his stand first. And Udhayanidhi's picture is behind him. I think he's supporting him. Please tell me.
Okay.
Answer.
Don't shout.
Answer to this.
Okay, answer.
Hey.
Mr. Sarvanan.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, I'm misogynistic. Are you a misogynist? Answer for this. Give me an answer. You are a misogynist. You are representing a misogynist party. That is why
you have
did
to
not
answer
invite
first. I will
the
also
president,
answer.
Madam President, for
We are
the
here to
parliamentary
answer.
function.
Only we are answerable to the people of the country.
Navika ji, please.
He is very disturbed
please
now.
Ensure that some respect is shown to Madam Sonia Gandhi.
But on the issue of respect, Mr. Sarvanan, on the issue of respect, there is a problem on every side of the political, kaleidoscope of parties. Everywhere in the political spectrum, people are crossing the line. So, calling out one against the other doesn't help. The question is the argument made by the DMK. The argument made by the DMK in defense of Mr. Stalin's statement. And let me ask you, Mr. Reddy, the question. They say President Murmu was not allowed to, dedicate the new parliament building, and that is the reason why Sanatana Dharma has been cornered by Mr. Stalin. And they say because of the caste or because of her position that the Sanatana Dharma would say. Now, I just want to ask you, there were many opposition parties that voted for Mr. Yashwant Sinha, who's from a forward caste, and not Murmu. Then their position should be also seen through the lens of caste. Are we taking our political differences just so far that we can't even have a decent conversation? And when you ask for a special session of parliament and our agenda, where is the space for dialogue? Is there any space? And I'm not holding the torch for either side. Both sides have denigrated the atmosphere to the extent where dialogue is completely out of the question. So what do you expect? Consultation?
BJP is the worst culprit. BJP is the worst culprit.
My friend, please check the opposition which is today in arms with each other. What names they have called the Prime Minister? Mr. Sarvanan, just soul search a bit.
Navika ji.
Navika ji. So you are normalizing this? Are you normalizing this?
No, I'm not normalizing this, and I'm not normalizing what the opposition has also said. I'm questioning both. I'm questioning both, Mr. Sarvanan, but Mr. Reddy, your turn to speak, and since you're not part of the India Alliance, I hope Mr. Sarvanan will allow you to speak.
Navika ji, in case of Murmu ji were not allowed to inaugurate the parliament, BJP has done a grave mistake. It's in fact insulting the first generation of this country, and we have already told about that. And now these are two different things basically. We strongly condemn the statement made by Mr. Udhayanidhi Stalin. People in responsible positions, now he's a minister, must refrain making such comments, irresponsible comments, which are linked to the sentiments of millions of the people of this country. You may practice anything, Mr. Udhayanidhi, but you don't have the right to talk about eradication of some dharam. Not only Sanatan Dharma, it may be any dharam. I don't think even the Muslim minorities or Christian minorities, anybody would rather welcome these kind of statements. We don't have any right. No political party, no political party is a protector or a, advocate to this dharam. This dharam is surviving for a long time. Each of the dharams, whatever we practice, and these kind of statements, either sides, even statements of violent nature,
bring in the head, I'll pay you money. Even this kind of statements which are of violent nature also should not be encouraged. It will create enmity. The central government has to properly take the enough steps to curb this kind of activities. And then coming to the second thing, the Parliament special session. Yes, it is a discretionary power of the central government. They can summon the Parliament, but at the same time, it's the right of the people of the country to know why there is a special session. In a normal case, in a normal session, nobody would be asking this. When you call for a special session, there must be a special agenda. Gauravji, 1 minute. I have not spoken yet completely. So there must be a special agenda. During the GST time, they have called for a special session. There was so much of publicity around it. There was, many ministers were speaking, making GST a big publicity as if it is only the achievement of BJP. Fine, you can take it. But why not now? You could have, announced this must be the agenda. This might be the agenda. There are many rumors going around. One nation and one election. Your ministers will support that. Now you talk about Bharat and India. And Navika ji, I want to tell you very clearly, India or Bharat, we don't have to go back to roots and should know who has given these words. The constitution allowed the both. But now, suddenly why now? If the central government wanted to use officially the Bharat, you announce it first. Don't create a confusion and ambiguity. Nobody will have a doubt. All of us, we used to say we are proud Indians. In Telugu we say Bharat Desham. Bharatiyilu. So there should not be any problem, but it is the behavior of Bharatiya Janata Party to use every issue for their political mileage.
Many questions raised about
in this
the
issue.
BJP.
They want to build a
Bhatia, please respond. You could have, we showed you that the Prime Minister used Prime Minister of Bharat on the 22nd of August when he went for the South African nation and Greece tour. But why not announce it before? Why create suspense and aura? Why bring in a special session without telling everybody whether it's about one nation, one poll? What's the suspense about?
Function with clarity. Who stops you?
Gaurav Bhatia.
First of all, let me thank Mr. Reddy for at least condemning what Udhayanidhi has said. We might be having many differences, but it shows the large-heartedness of an opposition party to call a spade, and that is welcoming. The modern-day Gauri, Ghazni and Aurangzeb, they also had in mind the idea of eradicating Hinduism, but we all know who thrived and who survived. It is the idea of Hinduism that survived. The modern day Ghazni, Gauri and Aurangzeb are Udhayanidhi and Rahul Gandhi. They hate Sanatana Dharma for the tolerance that it shows and exposes the pseudo-secularism of the
Gaurav Bhatia, that's not fair. We should not call such. I object to this. We should not call such names. They're political leaders. We may have differences.
Navika ji.
Navika, if they can call an elected prime minister, my prime minister, चौकीदार चोर है, मोदी तेरी कबर खुदेगी, बिच्छू, तेलीराम, मौत का सौदागर. So I can also at least give an analogy. Respect my freedom of speech. Okay. Respect my freedom of speech. Respect my freedom of speech.
You came with a begging ball to DMK to seek alliance in 1999. With the support of DMK only you formed the government. In 1999, the BJP formed a government with the DMK support of the DMK in 1999. Even then we were in Sanatana Dharma.
Well, Mr. Saravanan, you may say that they came with a begging bowl, but it's also true you wanted a share of the pie, isn't it, Smita? Is it only that the BJP wanted DMK support and the DMK did not want a share of the power pie?
I think it would only be just.
Yeah, I'm coming to you. Just a small interjection by Smita on the point made by Saravanan, and I'm coming back to you, Gaurav Bhatia. Smita.
No. Navika ji.
This holier than thou attitude, Saravanan ji, just gets to me.
The DMK has gone both.
Gandhi's picture. She has been supporting the BJP. I am asking, ask her, let her say, let her make her views.
1 minute. Mr. Saravanan.
Picture of Madam Sonia Gandhi put up by the BJP, which has its support Sanatana.
Mr. Saravanan, you have made 3 interjections in this.
To denigrate women.
Well, if you're so worried about women, in the 9 issues raised by Sonia Gandhi, the women's bill is not one of them.
Woman talk.
Yes, Smita.
No. Mr. Saravanan has had 3 or 4 interjections and not even once has he spoken about his own leader, about which this whole debate is about what Mr. Udhayanidhi said. In all your interjections, you are more concerned about what has happened with Sonia Gandhi. And there is a Congress spokesperson. He has not said anything about it right now. You are going on and on and on. 1 minute, Mr. Saravanan. If you are talking about the BJP, the fact is that like PDP, you have gone both with the Congress as well as the DMK, as well as the BJP in the past. So
use the pulpit not to denigrate women.
So are you. So are you in a very respectable position. You are representing a major political party of this country. You are in a respectable position too. And the fact that you have time on a TV debate, you need to explain what your leader said. Of course, none of those pictures which are coming up. No.
Madam Sonia
Saravanan, the Angry Young Man title goes to you for tonight's show and your outrage on everything that has been said.
From the issue.
Absolutely. But Gaurav Bhatia, complete your point.
Please. You know, to Saravanan ji, I will say, I am very delighted that you're thinking about the dignity of a woman. But please tell me, Khushbu ji, who happens to be my colleague, she is also, you know, a lady. Her dignity is to be respected. DMK leader Sadiq called her names, called her item girl. Sadiq was never sacked from your party, Mr. Saravanan.
He was arrested.
So, are you saying Khushbu ji's dignity is not important to the DMK? Now be quiet and listen. Second,
that Sadiq was arrested, he was
first
put
of all,
in behind.
don't shout.
Action was taken against him. Against whom are you going to
Running
take
short
action?
of time, complete your point. Gaurav Bhatia, don't get distracted, complete your point.
You asked me a question, I answered
Second.
you. Please tell that now.
Yes, Navika, second, they hate the word Bharat so much. Just yesterday in Jaipur, Congress spokesperson and Congress leaders shouted slogans of Bharat Mata Ki Jai. Do you know what the Observer did there? The guy was reprimanded and he was told, Congress ki Jai bolo, Bharat Mata Ki Jai nahi. Third point, the question was regarding what is the business for the special session. There is a provision. Rules will be followed. Something which is good for the nation would be done. Modi ji is known to do historic things. Just wait and watch. We respect the rules and the constitution and the business advisory committee has.
Where can there be a problem about that? It will be business that is concerning events in this country, decisions for this country. Where's the problem with that?
Well, Mr. Bhatia, your views are morphed and misrepresenting facts like your party always does. Your comment about Rahul Gandhi and the recent photograph that has been uploaded by BJP, it speaks volumes about the conduct of your party. पहले अपने गिरेबान में झांक के देखिए, बाद में दूसरों को उपदेश देना.
Well. It's finger pointing all the way. The question is, can this finger pointing stop? Because we have a mini election, national election happening later this year. And then, of course, the real show, the big Lok Sabha elections coming up next in the early part of next year. Clearly, the swords are drawn. And this time around, it's not just the swords that come in the shape of war of words. It's also about identity, about narrative, and it is about showing who's the most powerful of them all. People of India, well, they're just a little on the side for now. It's attention to each other between the ruling side and the opposition. We leave it at that. Thank you very much to all my guests for joining me on Debate